Hey, morons. I'm back in my yellow t shirt, ready to have another discussion. Except this time I don't have any notes or any ideas. Well, I do have an idea as to what I want to talk about. There is this concept that I'm sure many people have heard of. It's called nostalgia. Nostalgia. And I'm kind of confused, it's up in the air what I'm actually going to title this video. Nostalgia is brain poison, or why nostalgia sucks. I don't know. Whatever title I think is going to have the best algorithm potential, because everything is based around platforms and money and marketability and cynicism and awfulness, and which nostalgia ties into that. But there's this really I think it's poisonous. I think nostalgia is poisonous. Um, Nostalgia is actually a really bad thing, a really bad emotion, and I want to talk about it. Now, a lot of people, I think nostalgia has become one of those words where it's kind of just like a buzzword. So people just say it and they're they don't mean anything. Um, and I sort of the idea for talking about nostalgia sort of sparked from me seeing this YouTube comment, this classic YouTube comment, one of many YouTube comments that I despise. Right? Let's just go on a random music video. Um, God, I should have thought of like a specific song to look for, but let's say, mm, generally it's going to be on nostalgic sounding songs. But the first song that I remember this being a big deal over was the song "Resonance" by Home, I think his name was, or her. We're not discriminatory here. Resonance, Home. Now, this is probably copyrighted, so I'm just going to mute. Nostalgic grooves on this Home track, taken from Odyssey via Midwest Collective. Okay. Go on any old song or any like vaguely nostalgic sounding song, because yeah, this does sound kind of like an 80s synth type song, you know? And it will probably take you 10 seconds of scrolling through the comments to find a comment that says, "This song makes me feel nostalgic for a time I've never been in." And that is just one of my least favorite comments ever, because it's like it just betrays like whoever says that, you're probably either low IQ or a child or both. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how oh my god, it's just the comment makes me so mad. It makes me like unreasonably mad, because that's how fucking music works, you moron, right? Um this makes me nostalgic for a place I've never. Fuck you! You fuck! I hate you! I hate you! Whenever somebody says that, I immediately want to slam their head into a curb. I mean, that in Minecraft, okay? Not in real life, because I don't want to make threats of violence. I would never make threats of violence against people I don't like, right? Let's see. This. Oh my god! It's literally the second top comment. This song gives me nostalgia about the future. Um, uh, In a few years, this song is going to give me nostalgia about this song. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. People don't know what the fuck nostalgia means, okay? Let's look up the Wikipedia page for nostalgia. I wish I could just have Wikipedia. Can I just add a Wikipedia as a favorite? Because, like, I just straight up use Wikipedia instead of Google now, because you can't find anything on Google. Google is suppressed by the liberal wokeness. It's suppressed by the liberal woke mob. No, it's suppressed by AI and algorithms and horse shit. So you can't actually find anything informative on Google anymore. You have to put Reddit after every Google search, or you just straight up search Wikipedia. So let's look up nostalgia. Nostalgia, feeling sentimentality for the past. Let's see here. Nostalgia is sentimentality for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. The word nostalgia is a learned formation of a Greek compound consisting of nostos, meaning homecoming, a Homeric word, and algos, meaning pain, and was coined by a 17th century medical student to describe the anxieties displayed by Swiss mercenaries fighting away from home. Described as a medical condition, a form of melancholy in the early modern period, it became an important trope in Romanticism. Nostalgia is associated with the longing for the past, its personalities, possibilities, and events, especially the good old days. And we'll get into that shit, bro. Or a warm childhood. There is a predisposition caused by cognitive biases, such as rosy retrospection. So, yeah, I'm basically going to say that if you are nostalgic for anything, you are low IQ. I'm just going to say it. Actually, no, I'm not going to directly say that. But what I'm going to say is if you're nostalgic about something and don't think about it and you just blindly accept nostalgia, you are just straight up retarded. Like, you probably are at genuinely low IQ. No, you're not retarded. Okay. You're just like, you just failed on a analysis level, right? You've just like hit the ceiling in terms of your intellect, you know. That's what I should say. The predisposition caused by cognitive biases, such as for people to view the past more positively and future more negatively. And yeah, that ties into politics too. You're not going to like it, but I'm going to talk about some politics this time. You're not going to like it. The liberals, they won't like it, but I'm going to talk about politics a little bit. So, okay, when applied to one's beliefs about a society or institution, this is called declinism, which has been described as a trick of the mind and as an emotional strategy, something comforting to snuggle up to when the present day seems intolerably bleak. The scientific literature on nostalgia usually refers to nostalgia regarding one's personal life and has mainly studied the effects of nostalgia as induced during these studies. Emotion is a strong evoker of nostalgia. You're relying on your feelings, you big sissy. There's a strong evoker of nostalgia due to the processing of these stimuli first passing through the amygdala, the emotional seat of the brain. These recollections of one's past are usually important events, people one cares about, and places where one has spent time. Cultural phenomena such as music, movies, television shows, and video games, as well as natural phenomena such as weather and environment, can also be strong triggers of nostalgia. Here we go. I've seen this before. Is nostalgia anywhere on here? I would probably, um, put it on here, right? Because when most people feel nostalgic, they're like, ah, but then they're reminded of the shitty world that they live in now, right? Um, Nostalgia's definition. Let's see. Um, One recent study critiques the idea of nostalgia, which in some forms has become a defense mechanism by which people avoid the historical facts. Apartheid in South Africa and argues restorative nostalgia, a risk to return to the past, reflective nostalgia, which is more critically aware. Okay, so yeah, I suppose here we go. There is a distinction here, right? So yeah, people are nostalgic for apartheid South Africa, right? And you'll notice that a lot of like nostalgia people, they're probably, I mean, there's two big periods of nostalgia for America, right? There's like the 1950s era, famously peaceful era, nothing bad about the 1950s, and then there's the 1980s. This has kind of gone to the wayside a little bit. Like when Stranger Things started, it was like, wow, 80s, whoa, 80s all in your face, and 80s movies kept getting rebooted and everything. I'll talk a little bit about movies too, but I don't know. I don't really pay attention to like new movies coming out, to be honest. Everything sucks. That's all I know. That's all I know. Every new movie sucks. Um, and it's going to be just a rehash of something that's already going on, right? Uh, but nobody really cares about anything new either. But that's something else entirely. As a political tool, Rutledge suggests that by invoking the idea of an idealized past, politicians can provoke the social and cultural anxieties and uncertainties that make nostalgia especially attractive and effective as a tool of political persuasion. This has most obviously been used by Donald Trump, Donald John Trump. Make America great again, you know? Appealing to nostalgia. Yeah, it was great when we could just, lynch black people and get away with it. That was pretty great. Um, that was great. It was a great period in American history, 1950s. I got to beat my wife, get away with, she couldn't even, that bitch couldn't even open her bank account, without my consent. You know, we need to go back to that time, back before the Civil Rights Act, back before women had any sort of say in anything. You know, although generally that's not really what people, unless they're like really lost in the sauce and like conservative, that's not really what people are talking about when the 50s are so nostalgic. They're mainly thinking about the aesthetic, I suppose. But I don't know. Nostalgia is very dangerous as a political um, factor to me because it just ties with conservatism. What are you trying to conserve? Like there, um, and the nostalgia obviously gets more and more problematic as the further you go back. But I guess I want to talk, yeah, because there's the more overt, like kind of fascist nostalgia, where it's like we need to return with a V to tradition, right? Where we could beat women again, make women great again. Um, there's that kind of stuff where it's political and like conservative nostalgia, and then there's the more like superficial nostalgia, like the 80s were cool because like I don't know, bikes or whatever. Oh shit! Whoops! I accidentally clicked on Switzerland. What? That's the Switzerland flag? That's the freaking Red Cross, right? Or that's well, I guess the Red Cross is opposite, right? Whatever. Um, or maybe that's where the Red Cross originated. It was in Switzerland. Because why else would they? Yes, Switzerland's the birthplace of the Red Cross. Hey, you learn something new every day. Thanks, Switzerland. Um, see, I'm just a genius. I assumed that. I was like, why did they have that? What? And then I made the connection right away. It's called being smart and having media literacy. Um, I was able to critically engage with what I was seeing, and I deduced that before even actually reading that, and it was confirmed by what I read. Just complete genius, Um, whoa. Okay. Basil. Oh, wow. And the term nostalgia was coined in Switzerland. Homesickness. So yeah. Romanticism. Huh. So it's the idea of nostalgia was sort of first illustrated or thought of in the Enlightenment era, kind of, which sort of makes sense. Um, I haven't really like read a lot on the Enlightenment, but it was basically the time period where people were like, you know what, maybe we should start giving people rights, and maybe we shouldn't have this thing called a royal family where people can like be better, like in a moral sense because of the way they were born or their blood, and they sort of got rid of that idea. And that's why America is so based, because we said a middle finger, we gave a middle finger to the royal family, saying you cannot you cannot be superior because of your blood, unless you're black, right? Or unless you're a woman, or unless you don't have any land, right? Um, uh, anyways, the we're still we're still working things out, but it's been great, you know. Um, but yeah, the Enlightenment was like where the sick idea of liberalism was founded, right? Um, where yeah, they're like the idea of personal and individual liberty. Um, well, it's kind of going down a rabbit hole. Um, advertising tool in media and advertising, nostalgia, evoking images and you strategically create a sense of connectedness between consumers and products, with the goal of convincing the public to consume, watch, or buy advertised products. Yes, in capitalism, you are the product. Um, Modern technology facilitates nostalgia, eliciting advertising through the subject, style, and design of an advertisement. Um, anyways, why do I hate this? Or let's see, why do okay? Let's see. Means my song gives me nostalgia I never had. There it is. Okay. Um, dude, this is the comment section is very much like the IQ bell curve. Okay, at low IQ, I love the bell curve meme because it's like it illustrates how simple life really is. Okay, low IQ. Here, wait, I should go start over here. Low IQ. It's a good song. I like it. It sounds nice. And then like average IQ is like trying to justify it, saying, "Oh, this is nostalgic. You're using fancy psychological terms." And then I'm nostalgic for a place I've never been in. That where's that other comment? For some reason, every time I hear this song, it makes me realize how valuable youth is. And then the super high IQ, as in me, it's just like, yeah, it's a good song. What the hell? I mean, there's not really any like explanation, you know. Um, I don't know. That doesn't apply to everything, right? But in cases like that where there isn't really, I mean, I guess you could use like music theory or whatever to explain everything, but people just overanalyze the shit out of everything and don't really realize how um, pretentious they're being, I guess, because it's like it's just a good song. It doesn't have to be like this advanced thing that's like psychological. Um, oh, and apart from the whole, oh, I'm nostalgic for a place I've never been in, the fact that that's like the most unoriginal comment. It's the new version of I was born in a wrong generation, because people kept getting made fun of for saying that because it's such a ridiculous thing to say. But now people just say that instead. I wish I could hear this for the first time again. Wasn't that already said earlier? God, fucking, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm expecting the biggest standards from YouTube comments, right? Because YouTube comments have always been awful, and they'll never be good. Um, but I just got to do my part. You know, the song is both 1990s and 2060s. No, 1980s and 2060s. Well, I'm guessing it by 2060 there probably won't be any internet. I don't know. The That's hard to say. I don't know. It's yeah. People, I'm not going to predict. Oh, what's it going to be like in the year 2050 because nobody ever gets predictions right, or if they do, it's like it's this bias that I was talking about earlier. Um, you could look at old things that really smart people said and they got everything wrong, but there you can cherry pick examples of them being right and say, "Oh, they got it right." So I'm not going to say anything because that would be stupid because nobody can predict what it's going to be like in 50 years. Although I'm guessing, if we don't get this climate change thing figured out, there's going to be a lot of bad shit that's happening, right? Um, uh, 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 honestly, like, I get that this song might be important for a lot of people, but like, it's not that deep. It's just a good song. Okay. Same thing with songs that are super old too. I like listening to music from the 50s or whatever. It's the same shit there. What the hell? Why did it go back just then? Did I accidentally press a button on my mouse? What the hell was that? The nostalgia of Home's resonance explained. there's freaking there's Blade Runner. Nice. Literally me. Ah, how do I mute? Mute, 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 mute. There we go. Oh god. Oops. Oh god, there's a couple copyright claims in here. Oh, the music theory of vaporwave from Adam Neely. Um, uh, yeah, and vaporwave is another part of this too, where it's just kind of vaporwave. I don't know. There's a difference between there's a difference between sampling and vaporwave. Vaporwave is often just straight up plagiarism, right? Which is why I think that shit got taken down because it's pretty much just slowing down shit and putting reverb and extra static over something. I mean, there could be value in that, but it's like I don't know. It's pretty much just plagiarism. It's just taking something from the past and rehashing it, which is kind of what I'm talking about now. Um, hopefully, what I want to have is like a coherent message in this video, and it's that like just think about when you're about to consume something that's just think about, is this trying to feed on my nostalgia? Um, and there's a few Red Letter Media videos that talk about this when they're talking about their the new Ghostbusters movies, where it's like they treat everything so seriously and like with the huge gravitas. Oh my god, they're taking out a proton pack. Oh my god. When it's like the original Ghostbusters wasn't serious at all, It was like, and they treat the past with such reverence. It's like that attitude is like actually just fascist, it's actually just Nazi shit. I'm just saying. Like, because that's what the Nazi Germany did about like the old Reich. They talked about this. The West has fallen. And it's like that's what that shit is. That they're nostalgic for a worse time that was worse for everybody. Uh, but I guess that like people are easily fooled by nostalgia because it is an emotion, right? It's when people are being swayed by their emotions rather than big brained logic, you know. Um, and they're like, no, I'm not nostalgic for back before the civil rights era. I just like that aesthetic. But it's like Why do you like that aesthetic? Think critically. People don't know how to think critically anymore. I'm nostalgic for an era where people could think critically, which was none, right? Nobody's ever been able to think critically. Everybody's such a retard. Listen, I'm an intellectual. Okay. um, I can think. No, I'm not. I'm just a regular person. I'm a reasonable person, and I sometimes, as a reasonable person, you have that feeling where it's just like, it's the to use like a boomer comic. There's that one comic that I'm sure everybody's seen where it's like everybody's in a pool, and that's the guy. He's the guy in the middle who hasn't peed, and like everybody else around him is pointing at him and laughing, but they've peed. He's the only one in the pool who hasn't peed. It, you know, I'm sure that's like a phenomenon, right? Where you feel like you're the only sane person in the room. And this is like one of those issues where I feel that sometimes. I fucking hate nostalgia. Um, it's a trap. It's a fucking trap. It's like a siren song, you know. And I'm not necessarily above feeling it. Um, but when I do feel something like nostalgia, I don't feel like a homesickness, like, oh, I wish I could go back to when I was 8 and playing Skyrim for the first time, or whenever I was. I don't remember how old I was when I played Skyrim, but I am gonna be playing Skyrim, you know, and it's like, yeah, nostalgia is probably a huge reason why people still like this game and play it. Um, or games like Pirate 101. I'm pretty much just revisiting it because I have some kind of homesickness for it. But it's like I don't look at it in rose tinted glasses. I look at it for what it is. You know, I don't revere the past with as like a thing to worship. Um, yeah, and I suppose that's what this thing talks about down here, where it was like, oh, there's a couple different types. Where the hell was it? Where there's like, yeah, restorative nostalgia, a wish to return to that past, and reflective nostalgia, which is more critically aware. Um, when I do it, it's more like this. I'm just worried about people doing this, where it's like, oh, I wish I could go back to when I was 14 and just playing with my boys and playing with my friends, and we were having a good time. It's like, you can do that now. Why aren't you doing that now? I get that life sucks. Yeah, life always sucks, motherfucker. Life sucks, and then you die. That's what happens in life. Life has always sucked. You just have to make your life better. Uh, you know, sometimes, oh, I'm just burdened by being the one reasonable person on Earth. You know, we have to move forward unburdened by what has been. You know, um, anyways, Home Residence is a decent song that I remember. I remember seeing this song when it was just getting popular too. I was a kid. I don't feel any nostalgia for this song. Okay, it's just a good song. It's kind of generic, but it's good. I'm not like, wow, the song transports me to a place I've never been, because that's what music does. You fucking moron. God, I hate that shit. It is the most bereft fucking comment I've ever heard. I hate that comment so goddamn much. It's like, have you ever had you understand the concept of an original thought? Do you have the capacity for it? Because if you did, you wouldn't comment something as fucking retarded as that. God, okay. Um, I need to stop being unreasonably mad about YouTube comments that I have no control over. But I'm just saying, bro, it's tough. It's tough out there. Just be reasonable, right? What am I going to title this video? I'll just probably call it nostalgia or something. I want to call it something clickbait so bad, like why you shouldn't be nostalgic or something like that. I think that'll be good, because I think usually I need to like start making good thumbnails, because I think that'd be pretty easy. View your channel. Yeah, the quit having fun video didn't necessarily do as good as I had hoped, but it did decent enough. So yeah, I'll probably call it. I'll try and be as provocative as possible in the title because I think that's what works. So I'll probably call it "You Are Dumb for Being Nostalgic" or something. I'm not going to say that because I feel nostalgic sometimes too, but I'm doing the good kind of nostalgia, which is critical, right? I think yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference too. Is that I think they should be different things because the original thing was homesickness, right? Where you feel you want to return to the past rather than being reminiscent. Yeah, there's a difference between being nostalgic, wanting to go back to the past, and reminiscing, and appreciating the past, but remaining in the present, which is what you have to do. You cannot want to return to the past because that makes you a fascist, right? Um, anyways, that's everything. I just wanted to get it off my chest before I exploded. So, God bless the USA. Is all I'm going. Okay. Um, I want to thank God. I want to thank my mom, and I don't know. I think I've said everything that I wanted to. Um, I just wanted to talk about that shitty YouTube comment that I've seen I've seen in the comment section of literally every fucking piece of music that I've ever heard in my life. It's the same exact shit as "I was born in the wrong generation." Luckily, when that comment was popular, we had beautiful titans of intellect. Like Filthy Frank, who openly made fun of that dog shit and that stamped that shit out. Nobody says that anymore. People still kind of say that, but like people know when people say, "Oh, I was born in the wrong generation," people know to shut that down right away because it's fucking retarded. But now with this dog shit comment that's in every music video that says, "Oh, I'm nostalgic for a place I've never been in." Fuck you. I hate you. I hate you. Okay, that it's the same. It's the same fucking thing where there's just a complete lack of analysis and IQ, right? Um. Anyways, I want to talk about that shitty YouTube comment, and I want to talk a little bit more broadly about the concept of nostalgia and what I hate about it. Basically, if you have reverence for the past, that's what's bad. You don't want to have reverence for the past because the past is something that's inachievable. Because in order to get back to something like the past, where let's go back to the 50s before the Civil Rights Act was passed, you have to enact political action to make that happen, and in which case you'd have to do all this horrible shit, right? But if you're acting in like a respect, analysis, appreciation for the past, that's a different thing. There's two different kinds, right? And I'm guessing people mainly mean the latter, right? I'm not saying that if you've ever said that you're nostalgic, that means you want to return to tradition and kill all the minorities or whatever. It's like you just got to be careful because they overlap. There's a decent Venn diagram, okay? There's a decent Venn diagram between the two, and you just got to be very careful. You got to be critical. You got to have a good head on your shoulders, and that's what I ultimately advocate for on this channel, is being reasonable, being a reasonable lad. Anyways, that feels good. It's like making a good video is kind of like taking a good piss. You know what I'm saying?